Coming up, Braden meets Max and Harvey, who want us to save our parents' money and our local libraries by picking up a book.
With families worried about costly activities this summer holidays, we're being encouraged to get to our libraries and get reading.
Also coming up, you get your shout on football boots. Why they labelled for boys in some shops, but not for girls.
Welcome to FYI, your weekly news show that's jam-packed full of info. Our mission is to get on top of the news and have a say on the issues that affect us.
The big story over the last few days have been the record-breaking temperatures, of course. Over 40 degrees in some places.
Yeah, well, firemen have been reporting about fires across England and Wales, and a lot of them have been caused by grass setting on fire, like this one that damaged homes in London.
Some rail tracks buckled and roads melted, causing travel problems too. Crazy.
Scientists say we should expect to see a lot more extreme weather like this because of climate change. For more details on the causes, or what's being done about it, check out our I Don't Get It explainer. Just head to Sky Kids On Demand or via our webpage at first.news/FYI.
Some people and animals did have fun in the sun though. Animals at various zoos, including this wildlife park, were treated to frozen smoothies of veg and fruit.
And who says private pools are only for the rich? The DIY Dad of the Year award goes to this one, who looked up how to build a swimming pool online and built one for a fraction of the cost.
We'll be talking to an expert later on how to stay safe while swimming.
And the race to be the next Prime Minister is also heating up. One of these two politicians will be our next leader. So the whole process to replace Boris Johnson, who resigned, is a bit like Britain's Got Talent. Loads of Conservative Party politicians put their names forward. They had to take part in TV interviews and debates to prove they have got what it takes. And then one by one they were knocked out of the race through rounds of voting by Conservative Party politicians. The two finalists are the former Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, he was in charge of the money the government spends, and Liz Truss, who is the Foreign Secretary dealing with big issues abroad like the Ukraine war. Now, members of the Conservative Party will have to choose between them, with the results announced in September.
Right, so we've been in the hunt for some fake news. We've each got a story, but for a bit of fun, can you tell which one's fake? So according to some newspapers, this cat, which was rescued from a house fire in London, has become the first pet to be saved from suffocating in the smoke by using a special oxygen mask for animals.
That does sound so fake, but what do you make of my story? This video went viral of a newly launched Sky hotel called the Sky Cruise. It looks amazing. I bet prices for a room are sky high though. One of these stories is fake, but which one? We'll reveal all later. With the price of petrol, electricity, gas and food going up, it's understandable that people are worried about the cost of our days out during the summer holidays.
So to help out our parents, would you consider reading a book?
Well, the annual Summer Reading Challenge is a project that tries to get us all to read more. And this year, they want us to support our local libraries and our parents' wallets. And it's got the backing of singers Max and Harvey, and they met up with Braden.
Every year, thousands of you guys take part in this Summer Reading Challenge, and this year's theme is Science and Innovation. So what better place to find out all about it than at the Science and Industry Museum here in Manchester. And I'm joined by two singers, Max and Harvey, who are supporting and backing the campaign.
Hello, hello.
So what made you want to, get behind this campaign?
It's really important for people to just keep active, whether it's mentally or physically, and I think, reading is a massive part of that.
And also, loads of families will be looking for free activities to do over the summer, and this one's a great one for it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Because it's really accessible, and anyone can do it, because all you have to do is just go down to your local library, right?
Yeah, you can either go down to your local library or hop online, and the goal is to get people to read 6 things over 6 weeks.
Last year, for the first time in 10 years, the annual library survey estimated that libraries in the UK have increased by 175. But since 2010, around 600 public libraries have shut down because of less government funding. So Summer Reading Challenge is encouraging us all to get to our local libraries. So what do you guys like to read? What's your favourite books?
I would say Wonder by R.J. Palacio, which is the story about a boy who goes to school but he looks a little bit different from everyone else. It's a really, really cool story. Yeah, I like The Hunger Games because, you know, I remember reading that in school and after school, and it's just my favourite book.
Now, obviously, we know that you guys are singers. Now, did reading maybe help you get into music?
We're also presenters on the side as well. I think our amount of reading that we did as kids really broadened our vocabulary, and just being able to speak confidently and knowing what to say next is a very useful skill that you can gain from reading. But what I will say is having a big sort of knowledge of the English language and how it all works and stuff is very useful for writing lyrics. If you can use different words in songs, that's very useful because then it makes it more unique.
So we know that this year's theme for the reading challenge is science and innovation. Now, do you guys like science? Did you like it when you was at school?
Max, maybe not so much of a fan, but
no,
I was obsessed.
I liked science. I might have messed around a little bit too much in school.
So there's your answer for that. Maybe Max wasn't allowed to use the Bunsen burners unsupervised, but I certainly loved, especially chemistry and biology.
But thank you so much for your time, guys, and
No
thank
worries.
you, for coming.
Well, 14-year-old Theo Behe doesn't just love reading books, he's got his own book published. Johnny Recruit is based on a real-life World War II story. Now that's an inspiration to have a go at producing your own book.
FYI is the news show where you get your shout on the issues that affect us. Summer from Bolton got in touch with us. She thinks it's unfair that every time she goes shopping for football boots at Sports Direct, they're always labelled as being for boys.
With the female England team doing so well in the Euros, she thinks it's about time that sport outlets stop branding football boots just for boys.
Hi FYI, I'm Summer and I love playing football. I love playing football because I like scoring goals and being part of my teams. I train for 3 different teams, both boys and girls, and train 4 times a week. I went into Sports Direct to buy some new football boots with my mum, and I noticed that all the labels said they were for boys, and there was no girls' boots in the shop at all. It made me feel very angry because lots of girls play football too. It's not fair, why are they boys' boots? It doesn't matter what colour or make they are, girls' feet are no different to boys' feet. Feet are just feet, aren't they? I want Sports Direct and other sports shops to change their labels to unisex or just kids' boots. Thanks for showing my video, FYI. Bye!
So we've invited Sports Direct to talk to us, but so far they haven't responded. In a statement for Summer's local newspaper, they've insisted that they make sure all sport and fitness is accessible to all.
We've got some FYI viewers joining us now to see if they agree with Summer. Hi everyone!
Hey.
Hi. So you've seen Summer's story. What do you think? Do you think that football boots should be unisex?
I feel like they should be unisex or just for everybody instead of just cut down for one gender.
Yeah, personally I think they should be, because at a young age your feet are essentially the same.
I believe feet are practically feet, and it's all really a matter of sizing with football shoes.
It's also setting an example for younger kids. If they like football and they go and they see, oh, it just says boys, so I guess I can't do it.
Do you think that there are any other sports where there isn't enough equipment for girls?
I think in nearly every sports shop, I think all the opportunities and all the advertisement for girls' sports is a lot less, and I think this should be addressed quite quickly.
I think if people just stop labeling everything, you can, it doesn't have to be specifically boys, girls, it's just there for just to set boundaries between what girls and boys can't do.
Thanks guys!
Bye!
Bye.
You might have heard that more children have died swimming in open water during the hot weather. But amongst the awful headlines, some good news. This is Finley, and he's receiving an award from the Royal National Lifeboat Institute. By reading about the float to live technique, Finley knew exactly what to do when he saw a young boy drowning whilst on holiday in Cornwall. He got him to float like a starfish until help arrived.
I put my arms underneath him and dragged him back to shore. And then the lifeguard guy came over to me, checked if he was all right.
We've got a hold of Gabby Batchelor from the RNLI. Hi Gabby.
Hiya.
So the starfish formation can really save your life, but what else can we do to stay safe in the water this summer?
So to stay safe this summer, we are asking everyone, if you go to the coast, please head to a lifeguarded beach and swim between the red and yellow flags. This is because this is the safest place to swim. It's where there's lifeguards on patrol and also they will watch out for you. Remember to also stay together with your friends and your family and take time to learn about the risks such as tides, which could catch you out, and those strong currents. Please don't jump from groins or anywhere where you don't know what the depth is of the water beneath you, and always call 999 in a coastal emergency.
So if we do want to go swimming, are there any open waters that we shouldn't be going in?
So it's always best to head to a venue or a lifeguarded beach, preferably, and there'll always be signs which will tell you whether or not it's safe to swim. So please do not swim in quarries or reservoirs because you don't know what's beneath and it can be really cold, colder than you think, and there is a real risk of cold water shock.
Well, that's really great advice. I mean, especially during this heat wave. Thank you, Gabby.
Thank you.
Next, we have another story from an FYI viewer. Emma from Wrexham in North Wales has to take care of her deaf parents. She wanted to share her world with us.
Emma hopes that more of us will give sign language a go to make her life and the lives of all deaf people much easier.
What is this? What is this?
It's really funny. Do you know what's happening? The purple dog lives in space, I think. Yeah. I think people think negatively when it comes to thinking about deaf people. But I think it's quite amazing to have deaf parents because you get to not only experience the world from the hearing side but also from the deaf side.
Do you make 4, please?
4 plates. I care for my parents because they're both profoundly deaf, which means that they can't hear anything around them.
So we can put the spinach.
There's an orange. Say if we need some shopping or if I need to go pick up prescriptions for her, then I'm often the one that has to do it.
She does help me, and the things that she does is if I get letters through the post, she makes phone calls for me, appointments, say the doctors or the hospital.
Friday.
The 11th.
Friday the 11th. It does just get quite tiring. Do you want me to change the date? Having that responsibility just takes up a lot of my energy, I think, and it doesn't always leave me with time to do things that I want to do.
Yes, I do rely on Emma because I think she needs to be doing her own things. She's a girl and she should be doing things herself. She shouldn't be involved with helping me.
Give it to Mum. Put it by Mum, she'll give it to me after. One thing that is quite cool about having deaf parents is being able to communicate in a whole different language that not many people know, and I think it just makes it so special. Making deafness and sign language more inclusive in our everyday lives, I think it could really impact deaf people everywhere positively.
For more details of how you can report on your own story like Emma, or have your say on FYI, head to our webpage. So, did you guess which was the fake story? Here we go.
So this cat was the first pet to be rescued from a fire using a new oxygen mask just for animals. It's a fact. It means our pets can be saved from the dangers of smoke as they are rescued. They come in 3 sizes and can also be used on dogs as well as rabbits, snakes and mice.
That means this flying hotel is fake. Shame, it looks cool. The realistic video fooled 3 million people on social media. For more details on how to spot fake news, check out our cool I Don't Get It explainers on the FYI webpage.
And that's all the info we've got for you.
Except for news about this amazing cyclist. Rupert from Leicestershire is 7 years old and has become one of the youngest cyclists to ride from London to Paris, under the watchful eye of his family.
He did it to raise money for a charity that supported him after his dad Tom died.
Rupert from Leicestershire raised more than £11,000 for the Children's Bereavement Centre.
Amazing. See you next time.